Hello, Chester here. So I've been accumulating videos while climbing the ladder, and for this video, I wanted to focus on the blue-based matchups where you have to play around counter magic, and there's actually a lot more Boros and more do energy for my ladder, and I'll mostly be talking about facing the blue-based decks for this one, but to give a brief view of the current meta game, well, at least for me right now. So we're actually at a 74% win rate with this one already. And pleasingly surprised that we're managing to get a positive win rate with the energy matchups. So as we can see here, there's a lot of energy decks and some random decks in here, but mostly the meta decks you'll meet in the ladder will be Boros energy or Mardu energy. There's a bit of show and tell sometimes, but I really am trying to look for the frog matchups. I don't think it's that popular right now. Going back to the list, I've made one change here. I removed the surgical extraction in the sideboard in favor of a toxic deluge. I don't think there's enough matchups where you want a one time hit like surgical, because you kind of want this for show and tell, but at the same time this list in particular only runs two Thoughtseize, so it's not really that great. And for the reanimator matchups, I think you want something repeatable like Ghost Vacuum or Unlicensed anyway, which is also good for the mirror. And again, I've been facing a lot of energy decks, so I kind of wanted more sweepers in the 75. Anyway, let's try to see how the games go. Against the Lur's deck, let's play first. This is kind of bad hand because this is a tap land. Let's mulligan. This is better. I guess we put the bubble back. I'm sure to play out the Dead Right Shaman anyway, so the scry doesn't really matter. Looks like it's going to be the mirror. Okay, let's just eat something at the graveyard. Lay out the Psychic Frog. They play out the Psychic Frog of their own. Now let's just surveil for a removal spell here. That's nice. I have a decision to make here. Guess we can Tamio into flip Tamio. Hmm. Guess I don't want the bubble here. My only problem here is their frog. Let's go with no blocks here. Let's see if they discard their hand. Let's attack. Hmm. I think let's just pass the turn. I want to Mystic Sanctuary Brainstorm. Nice. Let's play Prismatic Endings. There's Scolding. Licensures is great here. Let's take out the mana drains. A Mishra's Bubble. Let's play Thoughtseize instead of Pierce. And that's it. This is an okay hand. Just play out the Shaman. They could choose to flip Tamio here. And we'll just deploy our Psychic Frog. Okay, there's Psychic Frog. Just going to brainstorm here because we have another brainstorm that we could use. And we just want to swords this. I think that was a little too preemptive, but we are in a favorable spot because of Treasure Cruise. One is going first. I think with the brainstorm, this is keepable. We also have that right shaman. That tells me that they are on Jeskai. Yes, we can play Tamiyo here because that might be a spell snare. Okay, let's just pass. We have the rep counter spell here. Because again, this is a one ring deck. Let's play a brainstorm here. Let's resolve the brainstorm first. Okay, we don't want the lands here. If they do have the spell snare here, we do get caught. Let's check out our next draw. A Deathright Shaman. Don't think I want that. Let's just get back brainstorm. Don't want to overcommit here. Pretty bad for us. Now it's just protect the bowmasters at all costs. Guess we could play Tamio. I didn't. I forgot to crack the clue last turn. Or nice. I think I have to brainstorm now. Nice. So against control, we want Thoughtseize. Want Thoughtseize. Less of the swords. I think this is fine already. Could replace a bauble with a hearse. Okay, this is a good hand. Go Thoughtseize. Check for any removal. I think I'd rather take probably Teferi because that gives me the option to play Frog. First is annoying, but it doesn't really do much for them. Now I get to draw a card here. Let's take a look at our own library. Okay, really want that. Nice. Okay, they are going first. They have no companions. Don't think Bowmasters is playable in this matchup. This is better since we have a lot of threats. Might return the breeding pool. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they aren't a combo. Let's play Tamio out. Take true time. Not really sure what they're playing, but let's just rep mana drain just in case. Let's get Undercity Sewers. Okay, nice. Guess now we could just flip Tamio. Not sure if we need swords to plowshares here. Still don't know what they're playing. Okay, there's a snare.
Gaze into my face and put on your true shape.
Let's just draw a card here. Another Tamio.
Respect the library.
A second Psychic Frog. Sure. Nice. So, Reclamation, huh? Guess we just want Flute. Maybe Ghost Vacuum. Could cut some of the Swords Plowshares. The Bobble. Maybe cut all of these for Thoughtseize. Okay, this hand is fine with even with the tap land. Brainstorm. Guess that's fine. Just going to play out the Bowmasters here. Let's play Frog. We play out an Oko. We spell Pierce. The Veil of Summer with spell Pierce again. That's GG's. Play first. No companion means there's some they are probably playing something unfair. This is a one lander, so we mulligan this. This is a bit better since we have Pierce, two lands, and we also have that right shaman. So we can just go that right shaman first. Though you could argue that you should hold up spell pierce in this spot, but don't know. think here I'm just going to play out the Nethergoyf. Looks like show and tell. That's troublesome. We are not hitting land drops. Assemble the team. Let's just play a Bowmasters here. I'm just going to start eating at their graveyard here. And I think we are pretty much in trouble because all it takes is a land and a show and tell like that. Okay, I guess that's not numbers. They block here, 2, 4, 6. That's nice. DRS doing work. Okay, against show and tell control. Lavinia is nice. Totsis is nice. Invasive surgery is nice. Kind of want to try and keeping in. Let's try keeping in one swords to plowshares. All right, I think this works. I think having two sanctuaries in hand is too bad here. It's mulligan. This is a bit better, but having the undercity sewers sucks. Just play out the dead right shaman. They could have fatal push and we are just going to fold to turn 3 show and tell that way if we don't draw a land they didn't. Are they not running surveyed lands? I think the choice is obvious here. It's just loot. Hmm. This probably might be too slow. You're getting Veil next turn. This plays around a spell snare. They could just have force here. lot of choices. Either you do this, well, I think it's correct to do this now or at their upkeep. But the problem with the upkeep one is that they could mana drain this, then use the mana to cast Show and Tell. I think it's correct to try to go for something here. Because if they have mana drain, then they have to waste mana on that. Seek is fine. They know about my spell snare. So they're probably trying to bait this out. This makes them cast Dig Through Time, I guess. Do I want Thought Seeds? I guess we could. This gets snared though. For what you're thinking about here. Let's just drain the brainstorm. Should have thought seeds first. I missed 1 point of damage, which is important because they have to crack this fetch. Guess we take something from their graveyard now. Yeah, they would have died if I thought seeds first or locked them out of the fetch. Is could be better. Let's play first against an unknown opponent. It's mulligan because they might be on some degenerate combo. This hand still sucks, but it has a spell pierce. Check what they're playing. They have a polluted delta. Maybe show and tell. Just gonna tap out here. Not playing around some turn 2 kill. We don't have much going on anyway. They didn't crack. Okay, let's just take the Thoughtseize out. Probably losing this one. They just need Veil of Summer. Huh. Yes, let's hit them first for taking the Brainstorm. Okay, that's surprising. I'm just going to drain them from my graveyard here. Nice. I didn't want them to get a chance to cast Dig Through Time in response to my Shaman. Just take out the Swords to Plowshares. Invasive Surgery comes in, Thoughtseize, Lavinia, Disruptor Flute, and I think generally Tamio is bad here. Yeah, I think Tamio is bad here because you don't really get time to flip her. I don't really want to bring in the prismatic ending since it just hits defense grid, which we don't really know if they're bringing in or have. Okay, this is good. Since they passed like that, let's just go for because that's likely to be a Veil of Summer. I think I can try to force them to use Veil here. That draw sucks. Let's just play the shaman here. And we fight through an Atraxa. Don't think we can. Yeah. Can't fight through an Atraxa. I think that's what's okay. Let's play first. I think because of the colors we mulligan this. That's rough. Alright. Let's brainstorm. We see another shaman. Hey, I don't think I want any of those. Hey, that's fine. Let's go for tap land. I think we want truce here. Let's just play out the Lavinia. Okay. I think I want to do this. That sucks. And oh fuck. I want the land. Let's draw into the psychic frog, I guess. We missed 2 points of damage here. So we just do this. They can't force this turn. And Mystic Sanctuary for Treasure Cruise. Okay, I just think I go for it. Nice. I'll come back. So now that we have watched the matches, let's talk about how to approach these decks with counter magic. So first, off, you should ask whose deck is favored during the later game. So if you are pretty sure that you are favored in the later game, then you're incentivized to delay the game as much as possible and just turn the corner later on when you're in full control of the game. But if you're not favored in the later game, you will have to force the issue. So you will have to bait out counter magic using Orcish Bowmasters to resolve your frog or treasure cruise. You will do a lot of risky plays and you will have to ask a lot if, for example, this getting countered loses you the game. And if it's not going to lose you the game, then it's probably fine to cast it anyway. I think most of the time, the one you want to really resolve is Treasure Cruise. And for the mirror, you don't want to get Bowmastered. So for that purpose, Spell Snare is really valuable in these matchups. So let's talk about playing around Dimir tempo. So since we run that right shaman, we're already kind of favored versus the normal Dimir tempo deck. So just for context, what that looks like, players will usually play a list like this. And if you haven't seen it yet, I did a write up for the gathering.gg on this deck, the Dimir Tempo guide. This was way back in August. So a lot of ideas have changed. The meta has changed. So probably a lot of card choices here isn't applicable for this current meta. So for example, Drown in the Lock is a really weak card right now. A lot of decks use their graveyard heavily, so you don't really get to counter anything or destroy anything. For example, if your Boros opponent decides to escape their Phage, then this is a dead card. If your opponent is playing Psychic Frog, this is a dead card. And you don't really want a lot of dead cards in your hand. Cling to Dust is also fine, but I feel like this is too slow for the current meta. You don't really want to be spending mana to exile a Flage or exile a target for Cotonian Nightmare. You just want to answer that Cotonian Nightmare. So you're better off playing Spell Snare in this slot. Toxic Deluge in the main is actually pretty fine. And I've currently decided that 3 Treasure Cruise is the truth for this deck because you really want to cast one of these in almost all of your games. And if you manage to cast one or two of these, you basically just roll over your opponent. The discard spells, I'd probably play for Thoughtseize right now instead of the Inquisition split. But if you like playing with discard spells, that's fine. Personally, I prefer the Spell Pierce Spell Snare split. So if you have an idea that this is the deck your opponent is playing, you would know the weak points. So we know that if they're playing Drown in the Lock, you can make this dead by getting a Psychic Frog under them. And we do know that they run limited removal spells only for Fatal Push here. So that is the main pain points we could exploit. And they run Nethergoyf. We run Deathright Shaman. So we can just make the Nethergoyf relatively small all the time. So the only threats to look out for is actually these cards. Tameo, Bowmasters, Psychic Frog, and Treasure Cruise. Tameo is a bit dependent on what's in your hand or who's on the play, who's on the draw. If you have ways to kill the Tameo using combat, then this can be ignored at times, but most of the time, the ones that can't be ignored is Psychic Frog and Orcish Bowmasters. and treasure cruise. And since that is the case, we are naturally favored because we do have a lot of must kill threats. And conveniently, that right shaman acts as a threat slash graveyard hate tool for the Dimir mirror. And for something like Jeskai Control, they are favored in the later games. So you do want to make them have it most of the time. The only critical turns to look out for is when they try to land the One Ring. And basically, the weak point of the deck is that they play a 4 mana sorcery spell. And they do have a lot of high mana value cards such as Teferi, Plage, that you can use mana drain on to leverage Treasure Cruise to get ahead. So to summarize, against the Jeskai Control matchup, you just want to be forcing the issue whenever you can. And for the last matchup, for the show and tell control matchup, I am not really sure how to approach the matchup yet since I haven't really faced a lot of show and tell this season. But I do think Spelsner becomes a powerful tool in those matchups, and that right Shaman Nethergoyf is necessary because they do have mana drain to use on your frog, so that can backfire. And you do have to think about mana drain. So I think there was a play earlier that I cast a Bowmasters during their combat phase. And that is because I know that they won't be able to do anything with the excess mana for mana drain. So some things like that can help you navigate the matchup. Lavinia is great in pacifying things like dig through time, and it can even counter a force of vigor if they have that. So it's important to attack the deck in multiple axes. So we have hand hate, we have counter magic, and we have permanent based hate in Disruptor Flute and Lavinia. But at the same time, you should have pressure on your opponent because if you don't have the pressure on your opponent, they will just dig for answers for your hate spells. But anyway, I think that's it for now. Hopefully, we do get content for the Belcher decks or the Necropotence decks so I can focus on that. But I guess I do have a lot more content on Boros and Mardu Energy, so comment down below if you want me to work on that video. But anyway, that's it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.